Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to another episode of how many episodes are there of the show where I take a franchise, a TV franchise that is, and break down how many episodes there are of said TV franchise. And, well, what you're about to see is part one of what will be an ongoing saga of these for the time being on the show. And it's going to be for that's right, the Whoniverse. Now, I am aware that the term was actually coined when the show came back in the revival era in 2005, but I think it should count for everything to do with Doctor Who. So, I'm going to be using the next 26 episodes to break down the classic series, and then I'm going to follow that with the revival era, and then count any spin-offs in with that. And that would mean also for the attempted spin-off they did during the classic era, slotting the information about that in when the time comes. So we're going to divide this up by Doctor, like the show was actually divided, and start in the first Doctor's era for the classic era. Classic era of the show, around between 1963 and 1989, there were 26 seasons. Although, to get technical, there was a TV movie in 1996, totaling to 156 stories across the whole classic era, and the first 8 Doctors. So without further ado, let's get into the first Doctor's era from 1963 to 1964. See, to 1966, starting of course in season 1, 1963 to 64. There were 8 stories in this first season. And those stories are, okay, story number 1, An Unearthly Child. Originally aired between the 23rd of November and the 14th of December 1963 for 4 episodes, kicking us off very nicely. Yeah, the stories were serialized back then, by the way, guys, all through the original run. The other name for this story would be 100,000 BC, because only the first episode introduces Susan, the Doctor, Ian and Barbara, and the rest of it takes place in the Stone Age. Okay, story number 2, The Daleks. Originally aired between the 21st of December 1963 and the 1st of February 1964 for 7 episodes. So that accounts for 11 episodes of the show so far. We're doing well. Story number 3, The Edge of Destruction. Originally aired between the 8th and 15th of February 1964 There are only 2 episodes in this season, in this story. So that accounts for 13 episodes so far. We're doing well. Story number 4, Marco Polo. Originally aired between the 22nd of February and the 4th of April 1964 for 7 episodes. That accounts for 20 episodes. And now for a game of fortunately, unfortunately. Okay. Unfortunately, all 7 episodes of this story are missing from the archives. Fortunately, the audio still exists, so you're just missing the visuals. So you can still listen to the story in audio form. It's the original audio from the episodes. Although if you do a bit of poking around online, you can find the DVD with production stills reconstructions. Story number 5, The Keys of Marinus. Originally aired between the 11th of April and the 16th of May 1964 for 6 episodes. So that accounts for 26 episodes so far. Story number 6, The Aztecs. Originally aired between the 23rd of May and 13th of June 1964 for 4 episodes. So we're accounting for 30 episodes so far with the addition of that story. Story number 7, The Censorites. Originally aired between the 20th of June and the 1st of August 1964 for 6 episodes. So we account for 36 episodes so far. Story number 8, the season 1 finale, The Reign of Terror. Originally aired between the 8th of August and the 12th of September 1964 for 6 episodes, which means season 1 aired after a 42 episode run. So, yeah. TV seasons ran a lot longer back then. So, on to season 2, 1964 to 65. And this picks up with story number 9, its season premiere, Planet of Giants. which originally aired between the 31st of October and the 14th of November 1964 for 3 episodes, which we account, after that counting, for 45 episodes so far for the entire show. Story number 10, The Dalek Invasion of Earth. Originally aired between the 21st of November 1964, between the 21st of November and the 26th of December 1964. 6 episodes in that story, which means we now account for 51 episodes of the whole series. I forgot to mention that episodes 4 and 5 of The Reign of Terror are currently missing from the archives, but were animated back to life, so you can still see those episodes in some form. Back to season 2 now though, with story number 11, The Rescue. Which originally aired between the 2nd and 9th of January 1965 for 2 episodes, which means we now account for 53 episodes of the show in general. Story number 12, The Romans. Originally aired between the 16th of January and the 6th of February 1965 for 4 episodes, which means we now account for 57 episodes of the entire show. Story number 13, The Web Planet. Originally aired between the 13th of February and the 20th of March 1965 for 6 episodes. Which accounts for 63 episodes of the show so far at that point. Uh, 62 episodes of the show so far at that point. Not 63, there'd have to be 7 episodes, it's only 6. Okay. Story number 14, The Crusade. Originally aired between the 27th of March and 17th of April 1965 4 episodes, which means we account for 66 episodes so far. Unfortunately, episodes 2 and 4 of this story are currently missing from the BBC archives. Fortunately though, the entire story exists in the form of an audio, so you can still listen to it. Story number 15, The Space Museum. originally aired between the 24th of April and the 15th of May 1965. 4 episodes, which means we now account for 70 episodes of the show overall. Story number 16, The Chase. Originally aired between the 22nd of May and the 26th of June 1965. 6 episodes. Which means we now account for 76 episodes of the show in general at that point. And story number 17 and season 2 finale, The Time Meddler, originally aired between the 3rd and 24th of July 1965 for 4 episodes. Meaning season 2 ended after a 39 episode run, bringing the show's total at that point to 81 episodes. So I should have said that would be 77 episodes then. And the 6 that came before it should have been 73. Anyway, moving on. So I must have miscounted, but now I'm going to count correctly. Season 3, 1965 to 66. Kicks off with story number 18 and the season 3 premiere, Galaxy 4, which originally aired between the 11th of September and 2nd of October 1965. 4 episodes, which means we account for 85 episodes so far. Unfortunately, three of these 4 episodes are missing from the archives in their video form. Fortunately, 1 episode does still exist, Airlock, but the audio for all 4 episodes also exists, so you can still listen to the whole thing. And it was brought back to animated life for the rest of the story, and is available on DVD. So, Blu-ray. Okay, so story number 19, Mission to the Unknown. Originally aired on the 9th of October 1965. It was only a single episode that was prologue for a much larger scale story coming up in a couple of stories' time. But that does account for 86 episodes so far, and unfortunately that episode is missing, and it doesn't contain any of the original cast. The audio still exists, and there is an animated reconstruction floating about somewhere online. Story number 20, The Mythmakers. Originally aired between the 16th of October and 6th of November 1965. 4 episodes, accounting for 90 episodes of the show so far. Unfortunately, all 4 episodes of this story are missing from the BBC archives. Fortunately, you can still buy the audio for the episode to listen to. Or you can buy a DVD somewhere online with production still reconstructions. Story number 21, The Daleks' Master Plan. Originally aired from the 13th of November 1965 to the 29th of January 1966. 12 episodes. So that means that's 102 episodes accounted for so far. And, well, you know what I'm going to do here? Unfortunately, 3/4 of this story are missing. A double-edged sword for fortunately, because 1/4 still exists. And the complete audio for this story, including Mission to the Unknown, is still available. So, story number 22, The Massacre. Originally aired between the 5th of February between the 5th and 25th of February, 26th of February, 1966. 4 episodes. Which means we account now for 106 episodes of the show. And unfortunately, all 4 of these episodes are currently missing from the BBC archives. Fortunately, you can still buy the audio for the episodes, so you can experience it that way. Story number 23, The Ark, originally aired between the 5th and 26th of March 1966. 4 episodes, which means we now account for 110 episodes so far. Story number 24, The Celestial Toy Maker, originally aired between the 2nd and 23rd of April 1966. Four episodes, which means we account for 114 episodes so far. 3 of the 4 episodes are missing from the archives, so sadly you can only see the final showdown between the Doctor and his companions and the Toy Maker. But the fortunate thing is, the complete audio for the story still exists, so you still have an option to experience it. Or, if you do a bit of digging around online, you'll find a DVD with the complete story in the form of reconstructions for the first 3 episodes, or available on physical media right now, an animated reconstruction of the whole story. So there's 3 options for how to experience a story. Story number 25, The Gunfighters, originally aired between the 30th of April and 21st of May 1966. 4 episodes, which means we now account for 118 episodes. Story number 26, The Savages, originally aired between the 28th of May and 18th of June 1966. There were 4 episodes originally, so that does account for 122 episodes so far. Unfortunately, the entire story is missing from the BBC archives, but the fortunate thing is, the audio still exists, so you can still listen to the episode or the story. The season 3 finale, story number 27, The War Machines, which, of course, originally aired between the 25th of June and 16th of July 1966. 4 episodes, rounding out season 3 with a 45 episode run. And 126 episodes in total for the whole show at that point. Now, William Hartnell's run actually ended at the start of season 4, 1966 to 67, in the first 2 stories. So, we have William Hartnell's penultimate story in the season 4 premiere, story number 28, The Smugglers, which originally aired between the 10th of September and 1st of October 1966. 4 episodes, which means we account now for 130 episodes. That's right. Unfortunately though, in form of visuals, the entire story is missing, but you can still listen to the audio, so you still have an option for the story. And story number 29, William Hartnell's final story, The 10th Planet, originally aired between the 8th of October, or between the 8th and 29th of October 1966. 4 episodes, accounting for 134 episodes starring William Hartnell. And that's 134 episodes of the show in total at that point as well. The entire story... Well, actually, only episode 4 of this story is missing from the archives, but was animated, fortunately, back to life, so you can watch it in the form of an animated episode. Most of the story still exists. That's the most important episode though, because it features the first ever regeneration on the show. From William Hartnell into Patrick Troughton. So, that means, guys, and of course the audio for the whole story still exists, that means we end part 1 at the end of William Hartnell's era, and in part 2 we'll get into the second Doctor, played by Patrick Troughton, between 1966 and 1969, with the continuation of season 4. Until then, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and have, by all accounts, a magical time.